Yes, everybody, Russ and the West End Network. Hope you are all safe and well, my friends. Sorry, I didn't do it properly. Good afternoon, West Ham fans. Happy Friday. Well done. Congratulations. Another week. Another day, another week is done. Pat yourself on the back. And we look ahead to the Nottingham Forest. Pardon me, Windy Bops. Nottingham Forest game on Sunday. We've already done a David Moyes press conference. That was nice and early today. So go and check that out, as well as doing the little bit this morning about Forest got a few injuries. Everyone seems to have every fucking injuries when they play us. It does make a shadow bit of a difference, really. But anyway, if you're new around here, give it a like, give it a comment, give it a share, give it a bloody good subscribe. As you always do the day after the night before. We debrief, we discuss, and we produce the player ratings, which we'll be doing in a bit as well. As I said, we had the David Moyes press conference for the game ahead. The only probably interesting bit maybe was the fact that he still wasn't too sure about Zuma, but it was a 9:30 call. So in terms of the press conference, so didn't surprise me. Didn't surprise me at all. Let's see what we got in the chats. Let's have a look. Who we got? Afternoon all. Not a good watch last night, but a win's a win. Maltese Hammer, hope you well. Like the stream. Just do what Ignig Morale says. Pardon me, and just like the stream. Yeah. The game itself was a... wasn't it? It was a bit... we came out of the blocks. Definitely. First half and had a go at them. But it just didn't come to anything. And it seemed to, we were going further and further, and people were, and, the side were getting more tetchy. They were getting more, and they were overplaying. Everything we seemed to overplay. As I said, even like things like Mavropanos was passing to Aguerd across the back and was literally like just thumping it to him, and everyone's touch was a little bit out, and Kudus was having a great game. We didn't have a good. It was exciting, but gave the ball away a lot. So Ben Rama and everyone sort of gave the ball away a little bit as well. But it's a win, isn't it? It's a win, and a win is a win, and that's what needed to happen. Obviously now we're equal with Freiburg. We're ahead of them based on head-to-heads. So meaning, what are we on? So 1 point. If we win, well, I suppose it depends about the next game. Obviously, we play TSC away. They play Olympiacos. Freiburg do. If we win and Freiburg don't, then they have to beat us. And even that, we'd have to lose against Freiburg. And then it would go down to if they beat us more by how we beat them at their gaff. Yeah. If they lose to Olympiacos and we win, we'll be 12, that'd be 9. Even if they win, even if we both win going into that last game, they would have to beat us. A draw wouldn't be enough. A draw, we would win. We would go through at top of the group. If we both win, then we've both, got through. Regardless, if we win, if we get a draw at TSC, that's enough to qualify. Yep, that's enough to qualify. Not necessarily first, and then it'll be a shootout for the last game. So it's still exciting. It'll be exciting that last game because it might be us and Freiburg probably both qualified, but fighting out for the top spot, and they have to win. We can draw and still go through because we've got a better head-to-head because we'd have obviously beaten them first time. I'll go and change. I see no reason to change a winning side. I agree. Crap game, but we'll take it. It was simmering, but it didn't boil over. Yes, that's exactly the right way to describe it, Matt. It was simmering. The game was simmering, and sometimes you think you bubble over, and then it didn't. And then for me, as soon as I saw the team line up, the Olympiacos line up, they were there for a draw. They came there for a draw. They had their top striker on the bench, their top assister on the bench. They were trying to block it, low block, maybe nick a win. But if they came over for a draw, they'd be happy because thinking then they've got to basically win their next 2 games and then they should qualify if they win the next 2 games. It's all based on whoever wins that Freiburg game for them next time. Any updates? Nope, no updates. He had to hand his phone over a couple of weeks ago, wasn't it? And that was it. And he's already spoken to the FA. That's it. He came to spoil, and it nearly worked. The ref didn't stop every 5 minutes. Yeah, the ref ruined the game for both sides. On the best of watches, but got the job done. Indeed, not the best of watches, meant. That's what you get with referees from that part of the world. They don't know what the word 50-50 or physical contact means. TSC are the weak link. They certainly are. Certainly are, but they still can't be taken lightly, particularly their gaff. We'll have 360 odd fans there. You can't take them too lightly. That's for sure. And obviously, after Nottingham Forest, it's the international break, 2 weeks. So there we go. Plenty of time to think about it. Simon, good day to you, my friend. Good day. And Melbourne Hammer. Well done, Sam. Thanks for joining us. Anyway, so let's get for the ratings, shall we? Let's go for the ratings. We haven't done a ratings for a couple of weeks because we haven't won. Because we start to do the ratings and everyone's on it going, rah, so we don't actually get to do the ratings. Why don't their player go off after treatment? Yeah. See, I saw that and someone asked him it and he said because they had 2 players or 3 players off for treatment. And then obviously you can't have less players. So 2 of them went off and 1 of them didn't or something like that. It's really weird. How many years before it becomes a non-contact sport? Yeah, I know what you mean, man. I know what you mean. It's and that's why probably thinking about it, Michail Antonio didn't come on because he never played. He's very much not hounded, but very much not the referee's choice when it comes to these types of games, really. So possibly. Right, let's start. Come on, let's get swirling, Merlin. We're all here for the play rating. Let's start with Fabianski. Captain Fabianski. Fabianski, who I actually drove pretty much alongside all the way home before he went to the posh part. And I turned down the other way. So he looked very happy. Gave him a wave. His thumbs up. Captain Fabianski. Second, he's got a 100% record as captain this season. Just putting it out there. One hairy moment, as always, is a bit of Flapianski, as always. Quite late on, didn't come for the cross. Didn't have to make a save, really, in all honesty. So, what can you say for him? Didn't we have much to say, to be honest? Let's have a look in the comments that we got. 7 from Matt. Was asleep most of the game, but busy. Not busy at all. And that's the thing. They weren't great, were they? They came to spoil the party, really, didn't they? In all honesty, and what am I doing that? What am I doing that for? That's better. They came to spoil the party, and it wasn't great. I wasn't particularly impressed by them, but that's what they set out to do. Maltese Hammer gives it a 6 as well. So 6s and 7s, 6s and 7s. I gave him a 6. Thought that's fair enough. Fair score. Let's talk about who's talking next. Let's talk about the next player, who is, if I can remember, Vladimir Sufal. I was surprised he started. I thought he would have probably been rested, particularly as last time, and Matt's just alluded to it now, particularly last time, Fortunas tore us a new one, and he really did. But no, he was given the nod, fair play. Ludders gives it a 6 and Pete gives it a 6 as well. Again, a couple of good bits of defending work. But that was sort of really it, in all honesty. That was really it, to be fair. There wasn't much else. A few good crosses, but a few crosses which weren't good. An average game, I'd say. Would you agree? I'm going to put. Let me move Sufa a little bit down there. There we go. That's it. That's better. There we go. An average game, I think it's fair to say, average. What we got? 7, 6. What else we got? 6. Russie also gave him a 6. And I think you're going to get the same type of feeling going forward in terms of what else we're going to be giving people scores for. Let's move on and talk about Dinos Mavropanos. Third game in a row. Third game in a row. Yeah, fourth game in a row, isn't it? I can't remember. Third game in a row. Third game in a row. Yeah, because he didn't play. Yeah, he played Olympiacos. He didn't play Everton. He played at Arsenal, Brentford. So third game in a row for the man. And again, I'd say drama-free. A drama again. They didn't really offer much in the attacking third. In all honesty, I think relatively drama-free. I think's fair enough to describe that. Would you agree? I think that's fair enough. Obviously, he had a bit of a tougher game against Brentford, and if he plays against Forest, he'll have a tougher game against Forest. But yeah, it's what it was, wasn't it? Dinos 6, Rice wasn't worth 50 million. You robbed Arsenal. Thank you, FTJ. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for the 107 million. 6. The centre backs look so much better with Fabs in between the sticks, both of them. I think there is something in it. I'm not saying it. I'm not slagging off Areola. He's a fantastic goalkeeper, but it seems there might be, and some defenders work better with certain forward goalkeepers or certain types of goalkeeper. I don't know, but I agree. But then, to be honest, the Arsenal game, they didn't really offer much up front, did they? To be fair, Eddie Nketiah wasn't great. This game yesterday, their forwards didn't offer much. Their forward players didn't offer much either. Stefan Jovic, former Man City and Monaco, and he's played in the Bundesliga and in Italy as well. Just wasn't great. I mean, we had Dimitri from Gate 7 International. He said the home leg, their home leg, they played. That's the best they've played all season. This is probably the worst they played all season, I reckon. So, 6. I think 6 seems a fair score. 7, 6, 6. I reckon that's not his. But the thing is, Ludders, he's been a professional goalkeeper for a long time, and so he's not going to change. So that's the way he plays. And same as Fabianski, is still a bit Fabianski. He's not very good at distribution, where Areola is very good at distribution. So it's like, yeah, exactly. It's not his style. So, you have to work with the defenders you work with, and clearly there's some sort of communication issue there, because you see some of the goals that we've conceded, and, Areola has, I'm not just slagging off Areola because he saved us from a lot of games in terms of getting points. But, you got to think Ogbonna scored a really crap defensive thing, which you thought if he'd had any experienced defender had a shout, they would have stopped it. Same as Mav in terms of his head, the way he flicked it up. It just happens, but it happens. And it might just be the right connection between the goalkeepers and the centre-halves, maybe. I don't know. I do not know. But there's got to be some in it. But justification, the flip side is we have played lesser teams with Fabianski in goal. So there we go. I've gone, apart from Arsenal, I suppose, I've gone with 6. Pretty bog standard, really. Let's talk about Naya Figueres. Could easily have had a hat-trick up before half-time, for a hat-trick of very good headers, or headers, not necessarily very good, but decent headers, decent opportunities for headers, with JWP's corners. I think it was a very solid defensive display for him. Read the game well. Was sometimes would look for the easy pass with Emerson and then changed his mind and dropped the shoulder and actually came forward with the ball, which is what we like to see. So did Mavropanos, to be honest. I like the fact of these two together. I really do. I think there's a real dynamism between the two of them. They're not typical centre-halves. They're very much modern-day centre-halves. And, I see Zoom as a bit of a blocker, bit of a throwback, whereas I think Mav and Naya for a bit more, I hate the word progressive, but a bit more like the modern type. They're more than happy to bring the ball forward and are happy to keep, bring it forward and to try and beat a man or look for a raking pass and things like that. But I thought, again, had a good game. I thought he had a good game. 6, unlucky with his headers. Anton made a really good point. If that was Dawson, for example, he would have, on those headers, he would have scored one of them because he met the ball where it seemed, for Aged, the ball met him. Does that make sense? There wasn't all the power. It was the power was being generated and it almost like just deflected from the JWP corner, whereas Dawson proper head it in. 6, 7, 6 always plays better when Fabs plays. I think so. I think so, but that's just me. That's my opinion. In the same way other people say, "Oh," but that's their opinion. I think he does play better when Ariela's not between 6, and I think it's maybe because Aged needs the reassurance. Maybe Aged needs that guy behind him telling him what to do. Maybe so. It's not all on Areola. It might just be a part of Aged's setup that isn't great. That he needs that vocal goalkeeper behind him. Some defenders don't. Some defenders, are more competent like that. I don't know. Just trying to find a nice equal balance. All right, bruv. Hope you will, mate. Ballon Dawson would have had a field day of JWP. Corners, he certainly would have. So Naif again, I actually gave a 7 because I thought he was. I was impressed. I thought he had a good game, a really good game. But again, they didn't offer much. They did not offer much in up front. So about Emerson, not his best game. I thought Brentford he wasn't particularly good either. He had one really good run where he got past 3 men and got a free kick in prime territory, which obviously we could convert really. But I thought he played an okay game. And that's sort of the theme of today. We played okay. And we did play okay. I think it was an okay game from Emerson. Yeah. Dawson meets the ball with the ball meets. That's what I just said exactly the same thing, Michael. Emerson, 6 from Maltese Hammer. I think that's a fair score. I wouldn't say he was fantastic. And I wouldn't say he was shit. He had a good game, I thought. Lake and Palmer, very good. Emma at 5, 7 from Ludders. Another clean sheet, our 3rd clean sheet of the season now, after the mighty Lincoln City and Sheffield United, and then the European heavyweights of Olympiacos. What did I go with? I went with a 6. Fair enough. Emmy, average game, 6. And I'll have that. Sometimes. Do you know what I mean? He doesn't have to be the marauding, left back all the time. Sometimes he can have an average game and, hopefully he's kept somebody's locker for the Nottingham Forest game because that's what it's all about. Let's talk about Alvarez. Obviously, had the weekend off, got suspended for the Brentford game, same as Paqueta. And do you know what he was trying to do? He was trying to lift the tempo, and you could see he was being a bit more. He was trying to move things forward a little bit. Obviously, he got his booking, so that's 7 bookings in 14 matches. He's got a 50% booking rate now, but he tried. The only thing I get slightly apprehensive about is he was more often than not ahead of JWP. Now that's a great now he can do that, but the thing is JWP can't do that CDA. That's not his bag. The roles should be reversed, and it's harks back to when we had Declan Rice and Souček, and the same thing happened. And I don't know why it is, because I think Alvarez sitting in front of a back four, to be honest, he didn't have to do that much defending, to be honest. They didn't have much to offer. But I always like to see, I'd prefer to see JWP in the more forward movement. That's just my eyes. I saw no pattern on my players if the team had never trained together. I agree. It was a bit stuttering. I think Matt said in the chat earlier on, it was simmering but never boiled over. Emerson's our best player, in my opinion. Definitely, he's my underrated Hammer of the Year. Because, Bowen will get the credits and he deserves them, and Kudus, but I think he's been brilliant. Exceptional, Emerson. Melbourne Hammers defense getting better without Zuma, sell to Saudi and Jan. Well, I think one of them will probably go in January. Whether it's Zuma, whether it's Naif. The issue about Naif would be he'd be at the AFCONs. So I could see Zuma going, but would they take someone with his injury record? Probably not. Probably not. But they're both Muslim players, and that to me is a huge plus if they're Muslim already, because that's the whole idea of the Saudi Pro League, is to elevate the likes of someone like Mahrez out there, or that's why they're so interested in getting Salah out there. It's all about promoting Muslim players in terms of aspirations for younger children, and someone like obviously Nayef, Zuma, Ben Rama, they're all going to have proper price tags on their heads, in all honesty. The lack of movement done me. 6, Alves got his yellow card. 6. Aggressively offensive, never really troubled defensively. 7. Alvarez equals the Monker. Yes, TB. He's our modern day John Monker. That's it. 7. Thinks his reputation gets him booked sometimes. That's the issue. It will happen like that. But that's why we need, in January, for me, another CDM, because he's got 7 bookings in 14 games. So there's going to be, every so often, he's going to miss a game or a couple. And we haven't got that cover. We've got cover, I think, of all the other midfield positions, but not that CDM. So when we're linked to the guys like, the lad from Sassuolo, the defender, it's a defensive midfielder, those types of players, I can see us getting one of them in January just to give us that cover. Dinos and Agard were good and never troubled. Alvarez is, but you know what I mean? Actually, no, John Walker's a fantastic footballer. Fantastic football player. And I think but he's right in terms of love the yellow card. Great player, but likes to dive. Football's finished if Alvarez is getting booked for that tackle. He needs to sort all the bookings. But he won't. That's part of his game. We have to accept that. We have to build around that. That's what we need to do. 7, they show more passion, won't play Sunday. According to Moyes, he's still not sure about what's happening with him. Agard and Dino will play well together. So Downs defo won't be back. He won't be back in January. That's for sure. 5:30, only off to work in 20, but wanting to get into the chat before then. Bloody hell, Scott, fair play to you. Alvarez, I gave him a 7 because I thought he was trying to move things along from midfield. And sometimes it didn't come off, but the intent was there, and he put a shift in. Always puts a shift in, Zedson. JWP, couple of poor performances recently, and I thought he had an okay game yesterday. Gave the ball away a bit, but so did everyone really. And set pieces were pretty much getting back to getting back goods. He did scuff a first time shot from Bowen pullback, which he sort of had it on his inside, like his instep. So maybe if he put his laces through it, he would have probably scored. He did a fantastic bit of covering, which again surprised me when Olympiacos broke and they were sort of 3-on-2, and he came back and he there was about a 5-10 minute period where he was running everywhere, and I'd love to see more of that intensity. And obviously, another assist. He's got 14. He's created 14 goal scoring chances or something like that in Europa League this year, which is top of the table. A great little dink ball. When everyone was calling for it to go out wide, there's someone put it on. I think it's TikTok, and I think he's got a bloke shout, "Go wide, go wide!" And he dinks it over the top, and then Paqueta just like absolutely canes it into the goal. Great little finish by him, and hopefully, maybe we might see a bit more, back to how he started the season. Game of good assist, 7. Maltese, how many knows no half points in this game? 7, 8. Teammates not on his wavelength. More loves of booking than football ability. Yep, agree. But I tell you what, Monks was a fantastic. You listen to it, like when we had Joe or anyone he's played with, and they say how underrated he was as a footballer. He could play off both feet, which Edson can't. 7, probably man of the match. 7, he's not noticeable when playing a DM, but rarely makes an error. But that's not his game, though, is it? JLP getting in the way of Edison, needs to be playing further forward. Edison needs to be left to do Cam on his own. Indeed, Kent, but Edson was forward a lot more than I want him to be. But then he probably had fuck all to do behind him. That's the trouble. A good keeper should be scored higher if he keeps a clean sheet. 9. didn't have nothing to do though. But then surely the whole defence, because defence is doing its job and not getting anything through. But there was nothing. They didn't really offer anything. JWP, I gave a 6. Okay, average game. I thought maybe a 7, but I thought he had no. Yeah, actually, I'll give him a 7. I'll give him a 7. I'll be generous. I'll give him a 7, not a 6. Let's talk about Paqueta, Lucas Paqueta. There's no one better. Brazilian Magnifico. Not his best. Gave the ball away a bit, but he always does give the ball away a bit. He sort of take the good with the bad. He's still the most likely to win a game in terms of that killer pass, and not even just that killer pass, but that bit of vavavoom. In it, we love a bit of vavavoom. We love we love a player who can just do that and just turn up. And I love Paqueta. I love sitting there, and I love it when we're winning as well, because I then appreciate the flicks and tricks more. I don't appreciate him when we're trying to chase the game, but that's always his style. Or the slow, he just slow or slumps like that, or And then there was that sort of bit on the corner in the second half where he just absolutely did a guy with a bit of skill in the middle, like the Arsenal game. He did the rainbow flick or the chest, and there's a bit yesterday where he was doing keepy uppy on his feet. Love it, love it, love it. But there's time and place for it, Lucas. Beat the offside trap. Great goal, great goal. Great finish, and he bloody gave it to those bloody Greek fans, didn't he, afterwards? Fab Santero, so he moved the ball better than he usually does, but harder to score 7 when he doesn't have to make a save. Agreed. 8 just for the goal. 6, 8. Paqueta mainly for the goal, but like a stroppy child, but world class other times. And you sort of take the good with the bad. I mean, look at people forget. People forget that was what Di Canio did. Sometimes you look at that Bradford City game where he wanted to go off. No, I'm not playing. No, the ref's not giving it. I'm going off. I'm going off. That's what Paqueta does. And then he'll get the ball and go and beat 3 men and put a killer pass through. And that's what you get with these types of players. That's what you get. And that's why that's why fans love him. He's unpredictable. And yeah, he gets the ball away, but he probably at the end of the day, when you look at how many times he gives the ball away to what he gives to the side, it's probably in the positive, still in the positive. I wish he would dive less, but he's a wild card that nicks us games. Fabs was taking all day. I could hear him from where I was. Instills more confidence in defence. I think I agree. He's Brazilian, won't change. Looked injured before half time. Was surprised he came out, but glad he didn't. Scored the goal, got the winner. Not brilliant, but goal as well. Match winner. Pyatt was stroppy as well. Yeah, but I just think Pyatt didn't overtly show that theatrical side like Di Canio does, for example. Di Canio reborn. I wouldn't pass it. Let's see what we've got. Paqueta, we have got an 8. I gave an 8. I got maybe it's a bit generous, maybe a 7, but no, I'll give him an 8. We'll give him an 8. And my man of the match because he scored the goal. Kudus. Let's talk about Mohamed, the liveliest player on the pitch first half, without shadow of doubt. He's so tough to get off the ball, isn't he? So tough. He was so good in the first half. Kept the ball alive, and then he overran it. Overran it a bit. Sorry, someone just messaged me. And he overran it, and obviously we got booked early on for dissent. That sort of curtailed that sort of slightly more aggressive pressing side on the fullback because he didn't want to get sent off. And yeah, and I thought every time he got the ball, it looked like something was going to happen. It didn't happen all the time. But he's still got you keep him on the pitch. He's a live wire. Same as Paqueta. When you want a little bit of magic, he's got it. He's got such quick feet, people can't get him off the ball. And you get him in the right place at the right time. And what was quite interesting on the game yesterday was they rotated, they changed and moved Kudus up front and put Bowen on the right hand side. And I thought it looked better. I thought we looked better as a unit with that way round. It was an okay game. an okay game. Poor game, tries hard, but kept getting hit, but kept hitting him. Still trying to gel with the team. 7, not his best, but contributed well. I'd say some say he had his bad game, but troubled them all along. You're totally right. He troubled them all. When he had the ball, they were worried for him. But sometimes he overran it. Sometimes it just wasn't falling to him as it usually has done the last few games. 6, 7. Russie B gave Caduce a 7. Because he was, him and Paqueta were the two live wires. They were the two most likely to beat that sort of defensive line that Olympiacos were playing, and was a constant threat throughout. Constant threat. And when you get one or two people, like when he's doubling up on him, you always, he's some player if you double up on him. Benny, so what Benrahma, couple of good, he had a good shot first half when Paqueta laid it off to him just outside the box and he curled it, and the goalkeeper made a really good save. But his decision making probably wasn't on par as usual with old Benny boy. In all honesty, wasn't quite on par. He got taken off for Maxwell Cornet. The lesser spotted Maxwell Cornet getting some very, very unusual minutes at the London Stadium. You can see Paqueta enjoys playing with him. When you get that Paqueta, Benrahma, Emerson triangle, it works. It's really exciting. But he was just really quite frustrating yesterday. Some magic, moments of magic, and then some really poor decision making. But it's not just on him. It was everyone else. I think sometimes overran it. It's almost like they were getting a bit frantic and getting a bit worried, and they were trying to overplay it. And that's when you never end up getting it to feet. Without Paqueta and Caduce, I can't see us win that game. Agreed. 7 for Benny. It's frustrating to watch. He just tries. Just wish he could make the right choice. 6. We won't miss Benny when he goes to the AFCONs. Same with Cornet, but we will miss Caduce though. And again, had 3 shots, but with all the space they gave him, he should have done better. 5. He's dropping on Sunday. Pete, if he drop him on Sunday, my friend, who would play on the left hand side? You're going to say we're going to put what's on the left hand side? Paqueta? Because I think he's wasted this. But anyway, let me know. 6, often the shot when he should have passed. 5, absent from in the first half. I totally agree. T, we would win. Imagine if we had a dynamic and speedy winger left winger like Caduce, we would have won that. Any team would miss Caduce and Neged. I totally agree. I gave Benny I can't remember what I gave him. 6. Yeah, fair enough. Yes, fair enough. 6 is fair enough. Let's talk about Jared Bowen finally. We don't go for the subs because they were sort of made quite late. The day again was deployed as a centre forward rather. Centre half, that'd be fucking ridiculous. A centre half was not was as effective as he was against Arsenal. He had the best chance. He set up the best chance of overplay when he cut back to JWP, who sort of in-step passes the goalkeeper. But then they started rotating him and Caduce, and so that was really I quite like that. That was really good. And it was nice to see a bit of variation around there. And I still think there is. I still think, with Paqueta, he can play up top and, so not for the whole game. And then Bowen can go one side, Caduce can go to the other. It's nice. Even Fergie decided to go on at 1-0 win. Sometimes teams like this, they are a very experienced European team. Very true digital nomad. We seem to be back on throw-ins Ludders, that's my pet heave. Just pass it, just throw it back to Mavropanos or again and start from the beginning. You don't have to throw it forward. You've got no one to flick it in. A bloody Paqueta to keep doing the flick ups. Just go, play Emerson left wing. Who'd you play left back then? Aaron Cresswell? 7 for Bullseye. 7. Cornet's game is nowhere near as effective as Benny, even on a bad day. I agreed. 7 was bullied most of the game, ended up missing. 6, getting smashed. And I think that will help him coming up against big, experienced defenders. I think, he's hard to push off as it is. I mean, look, Caduce, he's not a big lad, but if you put Caduce up front, he'd be knocking everyone around as well. Cornet left wing back, never going to happen though, is it? And he played 12 minutes this year. 6s and 7s. 6s and 7s again. Russie B. Gave it 6. Not my best game for him. And obviously, Tommy Soucek came on, basically to make sure Alvarez didn't get sent off, I think, more than anything. Cornet came on for a very, very rare spot. And then even Divine Obama came on with a massive applause from the bench, the stands rather, with he came for like 5 minutes. And that was it. Bit of a damp squid of a game. No, you're not talking. No, you're not talking. But happy to see Obama. He did more things last this season. Yeah, you're totally right. You are totally right. It's he offered something different, and again, it was interesting why he could have brought on Danny Ings, he could have brought on Antonio, but he brought on Obama, and whether it's a sign of the times. New times were coming. Who knows? But I very much doubt it. We'll find out on Sunday, unfortunately. Forest will be well up for it Sunday, as they know if they win, they'll be just a point behind us going into international break. Every time we've seen him, he's been ineffective on offsides. Whereas I just don't think Cornet's got it. I think he's since he came back, got injured. He was good before he got injured, then he got injured and was gone forever. And as Toby said, the referee was a effing knob. What planet? Lithuania. That's not a planet, it's a country, but I believe he was Lithuanian. Right. What we got coming out for us today? We might have a late show tonight. Might have a late night show, not with Irish Toe, but with my good self. Or maybe Mr. Anton Baker might join us. Maybe we might even have, thinking about it, we might even have a Forest fan on. Who knows? But keep an eye on the channel, and then we'll have all the stuff leading up to the Forest game. I'll be doing match day morning and stuff like that on the Sunday and all that stuff. If you're new around here, thanks for joining us. There's a few new names in the chat I see. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and hit that bell notification and hit all, and you don't miss any time we're on. Go back today. We had what did we have on? We had stuff about the Forest people out for the game already. Oh, here he is. We also have we had Dennis's little review of the match. We've had a Dave Moyes press conference already. Have a shave. It's quite short at the moment. Anyway, someone who needs a shave. Someone needs a fucking haircut. There he is.
We are top of the league. Say we are top of the league.
That's what you get.
Hello.
Good
afternoon.
Right? Good afternoon. How are we?
Do you know what? I'm buzzing, mate. I'm buzzing.
Good. I'm glad.
It's funny. It maybe takes for me. I would have been buzzing right if I had watched that game and not done the stream. If I'm being brutally honest, that's brutal honesty, right?
Yeah.
I'd have been walking around on cloud 9 today. The stream, the review show after, kind of brought me down, which I didn't like, but that's part and parcel of life of opinions and stuff like that. But today I've been brought back up again because, again, speaking to non-West Ham fans, neutrals, and 1-0 against Olympiacos, Europa League, and you're top of the group after 4 games. Well done. And I'm like, yes, perspective, yes. And I needed that little bit of perspective today to get myself buzzing again. Listen, desperately want to get a really good positive result and a good performance as well would be great against Nottingham Forest. But maybe I've just come to the consideration that, Russ, all I care about is results.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I think fair enough. I think it's as we were saying last night, there's everyone's entitled to their opinions. I mean, for me at the moment, this is all about getting out of the group. All about getting out of the group. And we have got to a situation now where we are top of the group. We're in a very good position because we beat Freiburg earlier on in the thing, and that's going to help us. If we both win after the international break, if we beat TSC and they beat Olympiacos, we've both qualified. It's a shootout. That last game at Upton Park, that last game at London Stadium for who goes up top, and they have to beat us. We can draw and still go through as top of the group because we got a better head to head. I think I think we're in a good position. Even if Olympiacos, if they beat Freiburg, we've qualified and we don't need a point against what's name to get them to Freiburg to guarantee top spot. So
yeah, absolutely.
we're in a good position.
I mean, listen, yeah, it's a good position. I'm delighted at where we are, and yeah, just be nice to get a little bit on track again with the Premier League and put the focus onto the football and let the football do the talking. Definitely, there was an element. Still stand by the decision on the ref was crap, but West Ham went at the game. Olympiacos, Dennis summed it up quite well. To be honest, Olympiacos came to do what they did, and they played the game to kill the game, I suppose you could say. And that's what you're going to do. That's what you're going to do.
For them, if they've got a point against us or at home at London Stadium, then they would have to win both. So actually set up quite nicely for them to win the 2 games and qualify. Basically, they were playing the percentages. Sort of left them a little bit in the lurch now. Not getting anything out of that game, but still, that was the mentality. It seemed in terms of what they're trying to do. So, look, onwards and upwards. See what happens. As I said, we've got what's the name? We've got what's it called? Obviously, Nottingham Forest the weekend. We should have, we should have enough there. We know that from the press conference that Moisey said that Zuma's. He's still not sure if it's too early. I don't think they'll play him.
Yeah,
I don't think they'll play him. They'll give him to the international break. We don't need him at the moment.
No. And you're right, mate. I think I heard you saying earlier on though, like I think there'll be someone talking to the team about because there needs to be an element of less panic back there in defence because have the faith in the ability that you can get out of the position you can do. And I feel like the problem is Mavropanos likes to get forward when he's driving at a team, but when he's got the ball. And someone presses him, he does look like he panics ever so slightly. Yeah. I think Agerd deals with that situation better. Agerd knows how to ball play and knows how to do that, but then he needs the confidence that the player beside him can offer that. Mate, I'm mightily impressed with Emerson. I really am. One player, I said it during the show last night, keep an eye on Ortega from Olympiacos. I would be really shocked if he doesn't make the move to the Premier League. He's only just signed for Olympiacos, but by next summer, I could see him moving on into the Premier League. And I think he's someone we should look at. I think he caused us a lot of problems down the left in the first game. And he was pretty solid in the game last night for Olympiacos. So someone to keep an eye on. And I think defensively, there are blatant errors there. And they all seem to be coming from different just individual errors more than a collective calamity of defence. Good to see Alvarez back on the park. Good to see him doing what he was doing. Bit pissed off the referee gave him a yellow card when he did not deserve a yellow card for a really good tackle.
I think his reputation now goes ahead of him now. That's the trouble.
And do you know what he did do, Russ, yesterday? Which is something that I felt like he shouldn't have been doing a couple of games ago, was he actually was making really good tackles and then driving at the opposition and actually playing really good passes. He'd done a couple of long distant passes that actually connected with our players. So he's got the vision to pass, which I didn't think he had, even though I knew he did it at Ajax, but he's not been doing it for West Ham. So that was confident. James Ward-Prowse, quite quiet.
Yeah.
But do you know what? It just takes one piece of magic to score a goal, and I don't think anyone else would have played that ball to Paqueta.
No. I mean, it's one. For me, it was one of those. It was on a plate, and it was perfectly delivered, and just a vision to drop it in, and
but you need to. But you're right though, Russ. If you rewatch the goal again, you need to look at it's like a kind of dink chip.
Yeah,
it's actually perfection. It's not like really your typical. It's such a perfectly flighted ball, perfectly timed run. He sees the run. By the time Paqueta actually gets the ball and makes the run, it's a good solid 8, 9, 10 yards. Right on top of his foot, like perfect ball. So when it comes to Nottingham Forest, I'm still going to be half glass full. I'm not going to be mundane and negative about it because I feel that Forest will play from the back. Therefore, West Ham will attempt the high press.
Yeah.
It's just, for me, what's the full game plan rather than 45 minutes game plan? Like,
that's the key,
yeah. Do we have right now it looks like we don't have a plan B when we go with a plan A. And I think that something we just, if we can get a convincing win against an informed side of not informed home.
Yeah.
You know.
And then obviously then the trouble is then we have bloody the international break. So whatever we do, it's like then we've got the international break. It's so annoying. It's so annoying.
I think this is the last one though, isn't it?
There is a break in January, but that's the
but the last one for a while. I mean, like at least for a couple of months.
But the January one is what's name is the winter break, isn't there?
Yeah.
But still, it is. Yeah, it's very annoying. It is very annoying.
Extremely annoying. I mean, so we've got them on Sunday, and then we don't play for another 13 days.
I know. Then it's mental. Then it goes mental.
Then it's mental. It's like every couple of days, really, and then we've
got we'll have 4 games in 9 days.
Yeah. Yep. But hey ho, I mean, listen, Anton, it doesn't matter what you say. I get dug out, and I'm fine with that, and I'm learning to live with that. Wow, Anton, you think we have a plan A?
Yes. Well, I think that's a plan B. I think it's actually plan B. I think the Bowen thing is plan B. I think plan A is Antonio, and plan B is Bowen. And where we haven't utilized Bowen in that role before, or like consistently, we've now done it in 3 games now so far this season, and it's worked well pretty much every time we've done it. He didn't do it against Brentford, and it all went to shit again. So hopefully he'll, on 3 wins. You played Bowen in that position and played that forward. Freiburg, Arsenal, and Olympiacos now, and we've won all 3 games.
Yep.
So there we go.
There we go. Absolutely.
Lovely stuff. All right, then. I was about to go.
You are?
I was just about to go when you turned up.
That's fine, mate. I'll have a little chinwag with you after, if that's all right.
Yeah, no worries, man. All right, then, guys. Well, for myself and Mr. Baker, take care. Stay safe. Stay warm. Stay humble. Keep the faith. And
be friendly.
Be friendly one and all to each other. And come on, you bloody irons. Irons.